and I'm thinking properly, I can better identify toxic relationships. I can avoid toxic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, this is this redox signaling in the body and the supplement helps cells to stay conscious and enlightened, to
Ah,
tie it into a more metaphysical philosophy. So I think if
wow.
we're staying conscious and enlightened, then we can avoid toxic relationships and avoid being toxic ourselves.
Wow, that is some good stuff. So with that signaling, uh, can you explain that just a little bit more? I just kind of want to get a picture of that.
Sure. Yeah. So I like to use an analogy. So it's kind of like the way to think of. So I'll start with our body. So our cells, in our we're made of cells.
Mm-hmm.
It has to. There's communication, right?
Right.
There has to, cells communicate with each other. So they can identify damaged cells. So they can identify
Mm-hmm.
cells that need to be replaced and regenerated.
Mm-hmm.
And a good way to think about it is a cut, right?
Right.
So when we get a cut on our hand, we just it heals, it repairs. When we're young, it does that
Mm-hmm.
very quickly,
Right.
much quicker than it slows down as we get older. But we don't probably never think about how does the body know how to repair that tissue, repair those cells, to close it and
Oh,
heal it. There has
right.
to be some sort of signaling or
Yes.
communication within the body.
Right.
And these redox cellular messengers are foundational to that communication in the body. So they're kind of like mailmen that go around delivering, vital information that needs to be acted on, so
Gotcha.
to keep us healthy, to keep us strong, to identify cells that start to get mutated. Communicate tells our immune system where it needs to go in the body.
Mm-hmm.
Utilize antioxidants. It's just real vast. In chapter, I think it's chapter 6, I kind of like identify
Mm-hmm.
13 to 14 areas in the body
Mm.
that science has identified. The system, this redox system, uh,
Right.
plays a role in anything where from fertility,
Hmm.
aging, exercise,
Okay.
yeah, everything, yeah.
Wow. So this whole system, I like the way you put it then, as far as like thinking about it as little mailmen,
Hmm.
delivering mail, like at the different stations, so to speak, and communicating that way.
Yeah. Another good analogy I like to use is, so say we have a car, right? So a car is the car. The
Mm-hmm.
engine might be, I don't know, the heart, and the tires are the arms and legs.
Right.
And fuel and oil, and coolant, the car needs those to run efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
But those aren't the car, right?
Mm.
That's kind of like nutrients, right?
Right.
Mother Nature, God put nutrients on the earth
Right.
to nourish it.
Mm-hmm.
Knew that we would need these things so we can flourish and be healthy.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the oils. They're important, but they're
Mm-hmm.
not part of the car. But there's when we turn the car on, there's a signal, right? We got the warn. We have the gas indicator. There's
Mm-hmm.
a system of communication. So that indication can be on the panel, and
Mm.
as it lowers, it has to be some sort of signal to the electronics, and we
Right.
get those annoying, we get those annoying warning lights that
Yeah.
something needs to be addressed in the car.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to tune up or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a signal, right? There's a signal like, hey, there's something going on in here. So that's what these redox cellular messengers do.
Mm.
They are the part of the body, and so
Right.
this redox supplementation is not like nutrition. It's actually restoring. It's almost like replacing a part in the car. It's
Mm.
replacing a system in our body that grows deficient as we age, so our body can better, identify, signal to itself, like, hey, this needs to be fixed over here. This needs to be addressed. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, it keeps everything, running as it should.
Oh,
So now we can stay, quickly. So it's quickly regenerating our cells. It's keeping us strong, keeping our brain sharp and active. So
mm-hmm.
when we get older, it can allow us to, I like to say, stay more physically active as we
Mm.
get older.
Okay. Wow, that is really something. And you
It
know
does
what?
more than that, but I'm not allowed to say all that.
That again now.
I said it does more than that as far as people that might have health issues, but I'm not allowed to, say it does this and does that.
Right, right. No, I got what you, I totally get that. But yeah, I like the way that you described that as far as like, okay, here's the signal goes off. This what needs to be taken care of. Like whether it's like you said, when it comes to a car, perfect example, your oil needs to be changed, right? Uh, your car is overheating. You know what I'm saying? It's like the temperature.
Yeah.
So all of those different things, let you know that this needs to, this attention in this area, this type of thing, right? And
Yeah.
just to show you how the Holy Spirit works, you're explaining about like the mailman and the communication and dropping off little, letters along the way and packages, so to speak. And like you said, the whole signaling process. And it made me think about, okay, you say it's redox signaling. That's the word for it, right? Redox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So then it made me think about the virtue signaling when you're in a toxic relationship,
There you
right?
go.
And then you've got a person that's a self-righteous cerebral narcissist, right? You've got that self-righteous side that loves their loving laws and rules, right? And then the cerebral side, I'm a know-it-all. I know everything. As a matter of fact, I know more than God do. So you got that together for the self-righteous cerebral narcissist. So then you've got that self-righteous side, the self-righteous part of the self-righteous cerebral narcissist. They do virtue signaling. And so with that virtue signaling, what those individuals will do, they will signal the different areas like we talked about with the car. The light comes on, the oil needs to be changed. Okay, the temperature gauge shows your car is overheating. You see what I'm saying? You're low on some other type of oil. So they will signal which areas they think that you need to change. And so it's very subtle. And it's like after they mention it, you're thinking, wait a minute, something seems off about what they said. Just like we talked about communication and then tell either if you're thinking you don't belong or you need to speak up and say what you think about that, even if you do. So I'm going to give an example. So if you're talking to someone that's a self-righteous narcissist, whether it's self-righteous narcissist or self-righteous cerebral narcissist, 9 times out of 10, that's what it is. But anyways, when you're having a conversation and they do virtual signaling, like say, for instance, I'm talking to you and I'm telling you that I've gone and purchased a small stereo system because I didn't want my whole entire house focused on electronics and luxury. So then what is that? What am I telling you? The hidden message is something's wrong with you if you have a stereo system that's really big and it's taking up your living room. You see what I'm saying? If I can like those individuals, when they do that and they've got that spirit inside of them of self-righteous narcissism, it's like there's an energy that comes with it. Just like when you talk about the redox signaling, there's an energy that comes with it. So when they see it, they say what they say and it's so subtle. But then after it's said, you sit there like, something don't feel, something don't feel right about what they just said. And then when you with a group of people, you'll notice that other people in the group are kind of looking a little bit puzzled. So the is like, for the rest of you guys that got big stereo systems, you know what I'm saying? This means that you're not righteous enough. This means you're not showing. So you need to go down to what I have, this small system. So for some reason, they look at those type of individuals that's infected, so to speak, I would say, with that spirit. They look at